What's up, everyone? Welcome to Lowered Expectations. Thanks for lowering your expectations and hanging out with me here. I do appreciate it. I expect today's video to be a fairly quick one. This is an update video or a follow-up to the Bureck CD thermostat control video that I did, well, a few videos back. If you haven't seen that one, this might not make any sense, so I'll kind of update you guys a little bit on what the product is and what this video is about. So the product is the Bureck CD thermostat control. It clones the signal from your Chinese diesel heater remote on the basic remotes, and it turns your heater on and off based on temperature. You can also set a schedule, and there are a bunch of other features that we're not going to get into here today. So I tested this product out, and on my Bluetooth heater controller, it actually had some issues where it was causing it to switch back and forth between smart mode and level mode. So I contacted Bureck over Christmas, over the holidays, and quite amazingly, they were not only able to get back to me within a couple of days, they sent me an updated firmware so that I could flash it onto my controller, and now I'm able to do this test. Over here we have the heater in question. I'm going to turn the thermostat on. So now all we need to do is wait a few minutes. Once it fires up, we'll monitor the controller and see if it does anything funny. If it doesn't, then Bureck has sorted this out very quickly with a firmware update. They have told me that if this works, they will probably include it in the menu. So you will basically just be able to go into the settings menu and change the settings so that you can have it. I guess I didn't explain to you guys what this is actually doing or not doing. Even though I explained to you guys what is happening, I didn't really explain why it's happening. I should add a disclaimer, I don't fully understand this, but I had a chat with Bureck, and it seems that basically what is happening is that the Bureck CD thermostat control is sending on signals to the controller even after the heater is on. There are good reasons for doing this, but in this case, it is interfering with the controller and causing it to switch between smart mode and level mode. So what this new firmware does is it only sends 3 on signals at the time when it wants to turn the heater on. Hopefully you guys can see this is set to level mode. We are going to leave the controller here, and I don't see any switching yet, so this is a good sign. I'm going to set a timer for 20 minutes, and I will come back and see what's up. Okay, the heater has been running for quite some time now, and I haven't noticed anything weird happening. The modes aren't switching back and forth. I reviewed the footage and I didn't see it switch a single time. Last time I tested this, it was quite obvious what it was doing, and it only took a few minutes before it would start switching back and forth. So what I'm going to do now is actually turn the heat down on the thermostat so that the heater cycles off. We will then wait for it to go through the cool down cycle, and then we will turn it back on. I did notice that when the heater started, it started on auto mode, and I'm not sure if that's because I had it switched to auto mode or if because the thermostat switched it. So I wasn't paying close enough attention. If the thermostat is what is switching it, then that is less than ideal. I'm sure that Bureck can come up with a new firmware that will send the appropriate amount of signals to actually turn it on without switching it. But we will have to actually check to see if anything weird is happening before we can address a problem, right? The heater just completed its cool down cycle, and so now we are going to power it back on. I almost hit the power button on the controller. That would have been silly. So we are going to turn the temperature up until it cycles on. For some reason I have the swing set to 5. Okay, so it switched to auto. I'm going to switch this back off real quick.
Stop heating.
And then we'll turn it on again.
I wish you a safe journey.
Okay, we'll turn it on again. And
Start heating.
okay, so it's switching back and forth. That time
Stop heating.
it switched.
Thanks for using. I wish you a safe journey.
It's interesting. So that time it switched back and forth a couple of times between level mode and auto mode. This could be a bigger challenge than it may first seem. So let's go.
Start heating.
I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but it switched back and forth a couple of times there. It seems as though each time it turns on, it switches modes. I have a video coming out pretty soon that asks the question, what would happen if your heater broke in your house and all you had is a 5 kilowatt diesel heater to keep yourself warm? I think you guys will find the results of that test pretty interesting, so keep your eyes open for that. If you're interested in purchasing your very own diesel heater, there will be an affiliate link as well as a discount code in the description below. I just thought of something. This might actually be a feature of the remote. So it might use the on signal to switch back and forth. So let's see if we power this on with the remote fob. It says auto. Yeah, so that's what's happening. That is what's happening.
Stop heating.
It uses the on signal to switch modes.
Wish you a safe journey.
I'm trying to talk here. How rude. So what's happening is it uses the on signal to switch modes. So they might have to send me a firmware that only sends one on signal. So let's see here. If we push on with the power button, we can see it's level mode. On again, auto mode. On again, level. On again, auto. Off.
Stop heating.
Okay, I am going to go and email Bureck.
I wish you a safe journey.
So rude. I guess different cultures have different ideas of politeness, but I'm obviously trying to talk to you guys. I am going to go email Bureck and tell them my findings, and yeah, we'll see what they say, and hopefully they can send me a firmware that just has one on signal. Maybe that will work. A whole lot has happened since that last clip, and I will go into a bit more detail, but all you guys really need to know is that Bureck has solved the problem by sending me firmware that sends one on signal. So I will turn the heat up here, and I'll have to bring the camera around so that you guys can actually see it.
Start heating.
Start heating, it says level.
Stop heating. Thanks for using. I wish you a safe journey.
And when we turn it on again, it will still say level.
Start heating.
Now, as you guys can see, it's not switching back and forth anymore. It is just staying steady on level.
Stop heating.
Now I'm going to try to summarize a little bit about what's going on and also go into a bit of detail on how Bureck is going to attempt to address this. So what is happening is the OEM remote fob for this controller doesn't have a lot of buttons on it. And so what they do is they use the on signal once the heater is already on to cycle between smart mode and level mode. I didn't know that. I don't know if the manual even tells you that, but that is what happens. So the Bureck thermostat sends several on signals ordinarily so that the heater doesn't get out of sync. So basically the thermostat, when the temperature drops low enough for the thermostat to turn on or to turn your heater on, it sends an on signal. If something were to happen and your heater was too far away, or it didn't get the signal, or it didn't start, then the thermostat has no way of knowing if your heater is on or off. And so it is waiting for it to reach temperature, and if it never reaches temperature, this will never send another on signal in the current configuration with one on signal. So what Bureck is going to do, they're working on some new logic, and what they're going to do for this situation is try to make it so that the thermostat will actually be smart enough to check the temperature, and if the temperature hasn't gone up in, say, 10 minutes after the thermostat tells the heater to turn on, then the thermostat says, hey, wait a second, something's not right here, and it sends another on signal. And then if another 10 minutes passes and it's still not warm, it will send another on signal. And so they are currently working on this new logic. It's not something that they have yet. And they've also informed me that they are currently sold out. It is January, what is it now? It is Saturday, January 13th. They are sold out, but they will have more of these thermostats in stock by January 20th, or they expect to have them by January 20th. So if you want to pre-order these, then you can do that on the Bureck website. I mentioned this in the last video, and I'll say it again here. I'm not affiliated with Bureck in any way. I'm doing this to help them out because I think they're a good company. They have sent me 2 of these, so full disclosure on that. They sent me 2 of these absolutely free, and I have been helping them with the testing, and it has been quite interesting. I've learned a lot. It has been extremely cold this week. It was minus 38 degrees Celsius last evening, and it has warmed up today to about minus 27, which is a ridiculous thing to say. The warmest that it has been all week, except for what it currently is minus 28. And so I've been running the heater just to supplement heat in my house. I haven't been doing any weird and wacky experiments. I have received 18 feet of stainless exhaust, and I'm going to be doing some interesting testing with that. And I did order a bunch of fuel line, a bunch being 30 meters of soft fuel line. And I'm going to do a bunch of testing with that to see, well, we're just going to push the limits and see what it takes to make the heater fail. I have a bunch of experiments planned with burning different fuels. And if you guys haven't seen the video with my inflatable suit, you're going to want to go check that out. I also have some videos planned on kind of some backstory around that. And yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Okay. It's that amount of time that it took to grab the camera, and my hand is sore from the cold. Now what I need to do is try to get this mount attached. Wow, the camera's so cold it's hurting my hand. I should have done this the other day when it was minus 18. I thought it might warm up. I currently have 2 hoodies on with both hoods up, a toque, and then this crazy flapped hat on over that. And that's just about right. Okay, now I need to get to wherever I'm going to take this photo and do that quickly because I'm going to freeze. I'm not sure where I'm going to put the GoPro.